Kevin Pollak's Chat Show. I am, as always, Chat Show. How are you? Are you watching us live? Are you joining us right here, right now? Thank you. Write to us, before I forget, kpcsfanmail@gmail.com, and let us know how you do the show. You know what? I don't do the show. How about those people who say, who was saying this last night? They recognize you and then they go, they can't remember the thing they remember you from, and then you start to tell them, they go, yeah, I don't have a TV. Okay, well, then instead of engaging me in this conversation, why don't you, let me guess, kill yourself? Sammy, Jamie.
Yeah.
Speaking of...
killing ourselves.
We're coming to you live from the West Side Comedy Theater. Are you so happy to be back in these chambers?
I do. I like the theater very much.
Right?
Great guys run it. I wish it were a little closer to my and our guests' home. But
we can move you.
What are you going to do?
We can move you and our guests.
See, that's why I like it, because it is really close to my home, and I can get here in about 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's why people always ask, oh, would you think about like writing sketch or doing the things for other theaters? I'm like, nope, too late. I'm not driving home. I'm not driving.
Yeah, so when we move the show to Glendale, no, can't go. WestsideComedy.com, check out their list. Dana Carvey, for example, will be live on this stage in 5 hours.
Oh my God.
And the following Sunday.
And the following Sunday.
You're welcome. That was because of me.
That's right. We were out to dinner not too far from here, and Jamie said, Dana, you should really check out this theater. He walked in and said, this is my new home. How about that, you sons of bitches? Upcoming shows? All right, fine, I'll tell you, settle the fuck down. We've got Stephen Root, Lauren Graham, Christopher Guest, Billy Bob Thornton, J.K. Simmons, Dave Keckner, Jason Alexander, Dave Coulier, Kevin Nealon, Fred Savage. Go fuck yourself. How about that? Is that going to work out for you, any of those? Follow on the at KP Chat Show. Find out who's coming up any particular week. And there you have it. Next weekend live, I think, might be the Christopher Guest. Do you listen on Earwolf? How do you do the show? And we're done. All right. Again, thanks to the West Side Comedy Theater, folks, for all of that. Brian Tyler did the opening music. Thank you, Brian. As a way to introduce, well, I'm going to just introduce our guest. Welcome back, Rob Riggle. Buddy.
Thank you.
So happy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to be back. I just went that way. Couldn't go to that one time anymore.
I don't know if there's nobody out there.
I feel like there's more effort if I just gave it the old...
Into my camera.
Talking to you guys.
Yeah. I'm going to say, as I'm sure you've heard on many film sets, stay out of my camera.
Yeah. And out your light and out your camera.
Get out of my shot. When was the first time you remember sort of throwing a little shadow on somebody's face and going, I don't need to, I should favor my left foot?
It was a movie, and the lead had a dynamite take.
Sure.
Like, it had been struggling, and then all of a sudden nailed it, the primo, and then they needed one more, and he was like, what the F do you need one more for? And he goes, there was a little, somebody was in my fucking lines. And it was, huh? And a little chocolate right here, and a little chocolate right here. Yeah, just bitten into a donut. I was like, huh?
In my mind, you resemble the Dino the dinosaur from the Flintstones. Just kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do.
Valentine's coming up. Special things I want to hear about for you, but here's what I have to say. I want to run this by you.
Lay it down.
Okay?
Yeah. I
want to have sex with Ryan Gosling.
Get in line.
Okay?
Damn right.
But here's the thing. I need him to be a woman. For real.
I'd not.
Okay? No.
Okay.
Maybe a little shorter, but that's not as important as him definitely being a woman. So
I don't even need that qualifier.
But I do. So no penis.
Okay.
And a couple of boobs. Just the two.
All right.
Not too big. Definitely appropriate areola.
Yep.
I have to ask.
Yeah. Quarter size.
But let's definitely not change the buttocks or the legs, because, you know.
What's the change?
If it ain't broke.
You don't mess with those sweet Gene Pool Lotto winners. Speaking of which, that face. Jesus Christ, in a pie tin. What has happened to me when he smiles? To be clear, Rob, this is not a man crush. No. Fuck that. It needs to be a woman and me throwing it in.
Okay.
All right?
This is a reasonable request.
Also, we need to dance first.
Yeah.
He can lead. Completely cool with that. Again, though, he's a woman, as I described. Exactly. All right?
I absolutely hear you. Go ahead.
However,
yeah.
I don't want to jinx it with all these demands. So I don't know. Maybe I was unfairly specific about the boobs. So they don't have to be perfect. And he can keep his chest.
Okay.
He can keep his chest as is. All right? Let's just leave it alone, because I don't want this to sound crazy when it's presented to him.
Right.
In fact, if it means that much to him, keep the penis. Keep the penis! It's fine, really. Push comes to shove, he can throw it in me. In a pinch! I'm talking about in a pinch! Who do I
Wait,
talk
is this a
to?
proposal you're going to take to him?
It is.
Okay.
Just running it by you first.
Definitely. I'm glad you did as a friend.
Yes.
I don't see a single problem with what
any
you
of
just
it.
said. No, not
All
a
right.
problem. Take it right now as is.
Your experience seeing the La La Land.
Yes.
For some people, it's built up too much and they found it. They were disappointed. They were confused.
No.
Depends on when you saw it.
No. I always go into anything with reasonable expectations.
Reasonable.
Yes, reasonable. Always reasonable. So I'm always happily
Hey, look at that.
surprised.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it takes a lot to disappoint me.
I noticed that.
Yeah. You can tell by the friends I keep and the projects I pick.
Sam.
He pointed to-
He said friends I keep. Sam.
I mean,
You only need look. Sam, did you have something to throw
I was
in?
just gonna say, I would wager about $1 million you saw La La Land at home on a screener.
you would make a lot of money.
I would. So you really didn't get the whole crowd.
The majesty of the
I saw it
crowd,
in
the
a
majesty
theater.
of the
Yeah.
big screen and the surround sound. You're right. You're absolutely right.
And that shared experience. Sometimes you like the whole audience to.
Yeah, you want to feel it. You
Yeah,
want to
you
feel
do.
what they're feeling.
Last
And
film you saw in a theater.
last film I saw in a theater.
Jaws 3.
God bless.
3D.
Not a bad guess.
Jaws 2. But you were so close. You were so on genre.
close.
That is
You're
the
a
correct.
Shiger man.
That is the correct answer, by the way. Jaws 2. That's one we had.
I honestly can't remember. How bad is that? That's terrible.
You know what's helpful?
Wow.
Tapping the table.
Yeah, because it helps. It stirs it. Nothing.
Was it of the Star Wars variety?
Oh, boom!
Ba-boom! Jamie, you're so right. I took my boy
Rogue
to
One.
see Rogue One.
There you go.
Smart.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, of course.
I did. I'm a big fan of that whole series.
My biggest problem, which is kind of lame, was walk those right in, Kenny. As I'm on this camera, you can walk them in without anyone seeing a damn thing. This will be fun. Look at that. Look at that.
So fun.
Sweetness on a pie.
So fun.
The Diego Luna, is that the name? Yeah. He's supposed to be kind of an action hero. He should not have smaller hips than the chick. You know what I'm saying? Don't bring me the action hero at $1.35.
Look. You're talking to.
You should have been in that part.
You're talking
Come in
to.
manly.
I'm a Hollywood Clydesdale. All right, so I understand what you're talking about with the slim hips. I tend to walk on the set and they go, "Easy, big fella." And I'm like, "I just came on to get my drink." It's yes, no, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
Speaking of the gruff and tumble, fresh off your fantastic work in Houston with the Super Bowl LI.
Thank you. 51.
Nicely done.
51 in the books.
Holy crap.
Yeah, what a game.
How much fun was that?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Truly amazing.
One team?
28 to 9 with 10 minutes left in the game. I'm with my wife. And you start doing the math. You're like, well,
Wahlberg had been gone for 20 minutes, by the way. He had left 20 minutes.
I heard.
21-3.
Yeah.
My son was he? Worst fan ever. Couldn't get him off camera pre-show.
Yeah.
Talk to everyone. Biggest fan ever. 28-3. Gotta go.
Gotta go. I'm out.
I got an Uber. Motherfuck.
Yeah, but you do the math, right? And I started going, okay, in order for this to happen, and I didn't have a dog in that fight really, but I just wanted a good game.
Sure.
But I was like, in order for this to happen, like everything has to go right starting from here.
And 18 things in a row went right.
And 18, and I mean,
Including the other team just shutting
everything,
down.
Everything went right.
Penalties, marching.
And then
down.
as it started to mount, and when they tied it up, I remember looking at my wife and I go, if they win the toss, they win the game. And they won the coin toss. And they
That,
took
by
it
the way,
down.
was one of the 18 things that had to happen.
Absolutely.
So fucking weird.
It was so great. You'll never
the
see anything
missed
like
extra
Oh,
point. It was.
You'll never see anything like it again.
No.
It was amazing.
Yeah. My only annoying thing, as I've said far too many times, is all the people who said the Pats were going to win, it was going to go over, got to say, you see? When in fact, what they didn't see was one team watched the other team score 28 points, and then that team watched that team score 28 points. They didn't see that part.
No.
Did they, those fucks who got to go, you see?
I knew it all along as they were crying at the end of the first half, punching someone, punching their little friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at a poker game watching, and just before the game started, somebody called in and said, I will take Atlanta giving 21.5 points if anyone there will give me 18-1 between $1,000 and $10,000. I'll give anyone the Pats and 21.5 points. And we're all like, we got to pitch in and figure out how to bet this guy.
Yeah, no
but at
kidding.
18 to 1, you can't even, how much you're going to bet to actually win something more than $1.
But that's crazy.
And then when the score's 28-23, we're like, thank God we didn't take the bet. It's so ridiculous. And then the outcome. But a lot of fun for you running around. How much work is involved for you?
I got down there on Wednesday. And then actually I had done a lot of pre-taping beforehand. So a lot of the stuff I rolled out, that song parody, was I'd done most of it.
How much fun is that?
It's always fun, to get folks to come out and play with you and then make a song that, because what we tried to do is celebrate the other 30 teams in the league that didn't make it.
Absolutely.
Because that's
left behind.
Exactly. There's 2 cities watching that care. Every other city in America is, a little deflated. So we wanted to do something for them. But it was good. It was a lot of fun. And then
it was very well
I actually
done.
hosted a poker tournament.
Yeah, you did.
While I was down there.
Jamie Gold.
Jamie Gold,
Yeah.
which he was great to reach out to me and raise some money for Big Slick. So that was good. And
Pretty fantastic.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Wonderful.
I think everyone's favorite part of the song had to have been, is that John Travolta? What's happening? What's happening up there? Travolta?
Yeah, and with the one spaghetti strand still out, still dangling. Hey, is that Travolta? The hell's Travolta
Because
doing
when
in
you
this
think
thing?
football, when you think Super Bowl, very few names come to mind
Yeah.
from show business.
Yeah, and we were wrangling, and someone goes, Travolta's in. We did the same thing. We were like, Travolta? Well, sign him up.
Yeah.
And he was great.
Of course.
He was great.
Loves to sing, great voice.
And he did.
He can dance.
He came in, he recorded his part. He spent a lot of time. Like we had a mobile recording thing out by the studio. So we'd go in, and you heard me. I was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And
That's all I heard.
They go, do you want to do They go, do you want to do it again? I was like, we're good. I'll be inside drinking my coffee. And he came out and worked on it for like an hour. We were like, we're good. I think he gave us options. He gave us,
He's a professional. Yeah.
Exactly.
He had just landed his own plane, by the way.
Yeah, he's
one block away.
Absolutely. Well, we talked about flying quite a bit.
Yeah.
'Cause I knew he was a big into that. So
Yeah.
you try and find things that you can connect on.
And that was it.
That's about it.
That was about it.
That's going to be, we're out of time. That's a lucky phone
Wow,
call.
that
We just started
fast,
It seemed
yeah.
like we just started.
We did, I feel
Weird. Okay, I want to get to a portion of the show we call Famous Questions.
Oh, boy.
Where we ask questions of famous people who then pose their questions specifically to you. These are questions to Rob Riggle from famous people.
Wow.
This first one, I'm going to ask the question.
By the way, last night when I asked you, is there anything I should be thinking about or be aware of for the show tomorrow?
that would have been something to
And
mention.
your response, I believe, was, no, not really. Oh, wait, my balls bouncing off your chin? I believe was the exact quote. I can read it if you'd like.
You don't have to read it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that was pretty much the
You
exact-
remembered it verbatim.
That is the first Larry King game that I came up with.
It was
His balls bouncing off
the
my chin.
very first Larry King game.
It was because you were. I said because I was making fun of you. I said I got Pollock's balls bouncing off my chin.
As Larry King.
As Larry King. As
Just
Larry
to be
King.
clear, she was
so
doing
we're-
a character.
I was doing a character, but that's the very first Larry King game ever.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
That
Oh,
was.
okay. Now we
Eight-
don't. Now it's all come full circle. We don't have to do them anymore.
This is
Oh,
a
thank
Paul Harvey moment right here.
It really was.
It was.
8 years ago next month. Okay, so I'm going to read the question and then maybe you'll guess as to who it came from.
Okay.
I want to know if he knows anyone that has ever been hit by a fire truck and lived to tell about it. Also, I wonder if he has ever shit in bed while wide awake.
First part of the question was probably John Oliver or
It was hit by a fire truck
Dave Keckner.
and lived to tell about it.
Maybe one of those two. And then the second question is from you.
No. Both of those are from the same person.
No. No, sir. No,
In fact, it's the second question that might help you
Nope.
realize who it's from. I wonder if he has ever shit in bed while wide awake. Which one of people we've seen at Big Slick might have asked such a disturbing question? Who's very popular on the stage. Each year, the audience goes nuts for.
Keckner.
And, well, yeah, he's not.
Is he a
Elvis.
guest or a host?
He's a guest.
He's
Got to
a
be
guest.
Elvis.
But
Think
he's a
Elvis.
regular.
Johnny Knoxville.
Oh yes.
Yes,
Oh yes.
Johnny
Who else would
Knoxville.
ask
Knox.
about the shitting in the bed? Right?
Yeah, it's Knox. Never crapped in the bed. Never. I've never. That's a truth, friends.
That's a very specific question, though. While wide awake.
While wide awake.
Again, never took a dump in the bed.
All right.
Wet fart? Sure. But I'm a man.
See, for me, it's only while wide awake. Yeah. I have an option. I go, meh. Even as a kid.
Knox asked that, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. I do know one person myself. I was hit by a fire truck at one time.
Yeah?
Actually, in parentheses, spoiler alert, he has. It was you.
It was me.
It was you, knucklehead.
Yeah, it was me.
So that we could talk about how you were hit by a fire truck.
Pretty run-of-the-mill fire truck getting hit by a fire truck story. I'll be honest.
I wish you would be honest and elaborate. What the fuck are you talking about?
I was a young lieutenant. We had just finished a training exercise.
Playing grab ass?
Playing grab ass. Called the 9-Day War, which is a simulated 9-day war.
You had just finished.
We had just finished.
Very exhausted.
Oh, so we came in out of the field and we got a pass for the weekend, so we all went in and
Weekend furlough.
yeah, down to Virginia Beach.
Oh, buddy.
And we got after
There's
it,
going to be trouble.
like 23-year-old lieutenants do.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And as we left one of the establishments, a fire truck was blazing down the street.
Can't get out of the way.
I said, I can help these guys.
You were volunteering,
I was doing what I thought was my part.
which was not getting out of the way.
No, sir. It was this way, guys, this way. So I ran, and I think the trouble was over here. So I think they were all looking that way as I came from their blind spot. And I thought they were going to turn. They didn't. So at the last minute, I leapt. And thank God I did, because it hit me and launched me into a yard. And then they made their turn and kept going. And hence I was hit by a fire truck.
And lived to tell.
And lived to tell.
Oh.
This was the front of the truck that
Yes.
hit you, not a side bounce.
Nope, I got the full Monty, right? Boom, launch. Yeah, and I think they sent somebody back to go, check on that idiot.
The next question, next famous question from another famous pal. Do you remember the first time we met, where, and when? I guess I'm going to have to tell you who this is for you to answer. Dave Keckner. Do you remember where?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
You do?
New York City.
Yep.
In a restaurant.
Specific to a region of the world?
It was in the Lower East Side.
Sure. What kind of restaurant?
It was an Italian restaurant.
Close, Mexican?
Mexican, that's right. No, it wasn't Trattoria.
We're not looking for the name.
All right, It was a Mexican restaurant.
Give you a break there.
And it was like 1997 or 8.
He's got 9. He's got 99.
99.
I think you're right.
I think it was 98.
Yep. I'm going to have to correct him in an email.
Thank you.
And then his second part question, follow-up question from Dave. He would like to ask, what book has been your best influence? Not greatest, but your best influence. Such an odd thing. The word greatest tends to be too stifling, in my opinion. That sounds like Dave.
Yeah. The most influential book?
I think is what we're looking for.
There's 2.
That you've read?
Yes.
In total?
I think you'll appreciate this. The Marine Corps Manual and the Holy Bible.
There we are. Boom.
Brought it full circle.
Yep.
Brought it back.
I think that's how we wrap the show. I don't think you go after that. Do you keep talking?
Those are the 2 books
After
by his
that?
bedside.
The greatest influence?
No. God, I don't know. I'm reading a book right now called Tribe by
Jews?
Sebastian
Is it about Jews?
Younger.
Okay.
And it's really good.
What is it about so far?
It's
Nonfiction?
It's group dynamics and how we are dependent on each other and how we need to work better as a community.
Now more than ever.
Now more than ever.
Oh,
and
boy.
he's done studies all over the place in different circumstances, combat zones, disaster relief, all kinds of stuff. He's an amazing guy, a reporter for the Times, and anyway, he's got some insights.
When you say the Times, you mean the Florida Times.
Of course.
Oh, yeah?
The Picayune. What is it? The Picayune Times.
Picayune?
Picayune Times.
Also, he loves you and me. That was the final note from Dave.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
Right back at you.
Third and final, not from me though.
Really?
Yep. Okay. Third and final question from a famous cat from the Crow's Nest. We got a double tap. We got a double tap from the Crow's Nest on that one.
That's so good.
Our final famous question, he insists, is a 2-parter. First, if you could be a yet to be created machine, What would you be and what's your preferred voltage?
Sex robot.
Right?
High voltage.
High voltage. High
voltage sex
is,
robot.
Yet to be
High
created.
voltage is correct. Part 2, what do the Chiefs do to hold on to Eric Berry?
Open a chain of restaurants called, help me out here,
Sex robots?
High voltage sex robots, Sweet Berry.
And who would that question come from, do you think? Clearly one of the KC boys.
Yeah, I think it's probably Stoney.
Sure, it's Paul Rudd.
Even I
Thank you all of your questions from the famous peeps. And,
That was nice. The people wrote in.
Very nice.
Very sweet. They took the time.
Right?
Did you tell me about the other responses that you're not sharing with me? No. I mean, I'll take it. I can handle it.
John Hamm just wrote pass.
Wow.
It's weird, right?
That's okay. That's all right. That's one. I'm sure there were others.
It's a response?
Yeah. He took the
Not
time.
like he didn't reply.
Exactly.
And now our very own quiz. This is the show's quiz
All
worth
right.
1,000 points.
Break it down.
You ready?
I don't know.
A torrid affair that no one discovers, or watch a Lifetime movie about a torrid affair that no one discovers.
Would I take part in?
Well, this is a question to you.
I got to do.
Would you rather be in a Lifetime movie about a torrid affair?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll do that.
That's the correct answer because
Yes.
we've got family watching. Question number 2.
Yeah.
Keith?
Keith. Keith. Well, this has been the question of the ages.
I didn't make it through. I bailed. I bailed. Keith?
Keith is a yes.
That's correct.
Keith is a
And the
yes.
final question to round out the 1,000 points.
Yeah.
Cauliflower or Carl Weathers?
Oh, hands down, Carl.
Boom.
Carl Weathers.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Apollo Creed for Christ's
1,000 points for Mr. Riggle, please.
Woo!
Thank
Only
you.
1,000.
Suck it!
I thought each was worth 1,000.
Suck it is the correct response. Aha!
They said I wouldn't get 1,000 points, but who's laughing now?
These guys are dicks. Let's talk a lot, in the research dossier that I get. A lot has already been asked and answered
Yes.
about that moment in time. In fact, when you were kind enough to be on the show the first time, about the transition from being a pilot, being, I guess, about to complete your training, take the next step, which would have meant a career as a Marine pilot.
Right.
Would then brought you to, I think, second city in Chicago. Buddy said, hey, this is just like we fucked off around,
In college.
In
yeah.
college.
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
My interest, I want to just tap in a little bit, is during the next phase of UCB in New York, where you are part of, I believe, maybe not the birth of it, but damn near.
Pretty early, yes.
Yeah.
I was definitely one of the early groups. I think they had the first house team, improv team, sketch team, besides the UCB themselves,
Right.
was a team called The Swarm. Great people on that. I mean, Andy Daly, Andy Secunda,
Just Andy.
Sean Conroy, just a lot of great, Billy Merritt. I'm leaving people out, but there's
Purposely.
Katie Roberts. There's good people on that team. Amazing people. And then I was on the second team, pretty much.
yeah.
The second house team, if you will.
So were you a student first?
Yeah.
When that first team launches, you're still a student?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they had launched some teams, but
Sure.
the big teams that ended up getting their own shows, so to speak, on like
Right,
the Friday and
which is
Saturday
the big
nights.
deal.
Yeah.
As you're a student who's teaching?
Yes, eventually. When I started there, it was the only.
No, I mean when you were a
teachers-
student, who was teaching you?
the only teachers they had were the Upright Citizens Brigade themselves. So
You
it
got
was
Amy.
Amy Poehler, Matt
Walsh.
Walsh, Matt Besser, and Ian Roberts. So that was it. And they only offered 3 levels. And now I think they're up to like 7 levels or something, but they only offered 3. And I took all 3 levels twice, just so I could make sure I got all 4 of them as a teacher.
Look at you.
And also, I was a slow learner.
Sure.
So I loved it, and I was learning and growing. And
And during the
getting better.
day, you're a Marine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So this must have just been the most magical time.
Yeah, well, you know what happened was when I got to New York, I didn't even know where to begin. I didn't know how I was going to do any of this. I just knew I wanted to try and do comedy in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
So I went to a stand-up club, the Comic Strip Live on the Upper East Side, and D.L. Sweeney, is that his name? Or
There's D.L. Hughley.
no?
There might be a D.L.
I
Sweeney.
think there's a Sweeney, or anyway, he was the teacher, the stand-up teacher at the club at
Oh,
the time.
God, no.
Yes. And so I went in, and I was always a fan of Eddie Murphy's. You know, he was more of a storyteller.
Sure.
You know, which I enjoyed the journey with him. I wasn't a traditional 3 jokes per minute guy. I just didn't know how to do that. That wasn't me.
You could tell a yarn by that point.
Yes.
Yeah, you could tell a story.
Yes, I could tell a story. I
Sure.
thought I could. So we got up there, and I started the first offering I gave. You know, I hated it because I'd never been so nervous in my life.
No.
My voice wasn't working. Everything, didn't know what to do with my hands. I was a hot mess.
Everyone's looking at you. The lights are on you. You're amplified.
And I would bail on the punches, and I would bail on. It was the nightmare of nightmares. Okay.
Oh, God.
And I was doing this, and I really thought I had made the biggest mistake of my life. I was like, I could have been a pilot. I could have been flying. You know, what was I thinking? I had a life,
A career.
and I gave it all up to come and do this, which I had no idea if I was any good at. What a moron I am! I'm a jackass.
Sure.
So
Still went home and masturbated,
Yes.
to be clear.
Oh well, twice, twice. So
You're
anyway-
living in a hovel in New York.
Oh, big time! 350 square foot studio apartment. walk up with a guy who paced above me.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Not a pacer.
A pacer.
Oh, all night and all morning.
A night pacer, and he had a dog that was, and this is from a collage that he threw out in the hallway, and it was a picture of the dog, and it said half Irish setter, half motherfucker.
Okay, I want to hope that half the pacing, like a tag team, was the dog.
And you can imagine it's 350 square foot.
The size of this stage.
Yeah, it wasn't much to do. There was not much room to go, but it was just, I could follow this guy all night long. Anyway, yeah, it was bad. It was bad, and I thought.
And you're in that little tiny square.
So I tried my version of what I thought material was. I didn't know what I didn't know. I was literally starting from zero. I didn't know what I was doing. And he was like, no, this is terrible. Do 3 jokes a minute. You got to do a setup and a punch and a setup and a punch and a setup. And, you know, yes, there is that school. I get that. But I wasn't jiving with it. So I had to get up, and eventually at the end of the class, you have to get up and do 5 minutes, and you have to bring everybody you know. Well, I was a shitstorm, so I was like, no one's coming that I know. Thank you very much. And I got up and I did the 5 minutes, and it went. I watched the tape. I don't remember it because the adrenaline was pulsing.
No.
And I didn't black out. But the adrenaline was pumping so much that I just wanted to get off the stage, and so I burned through the stuff, blew through punchlines, blew through everything. You know, there was no timing, there was no breathing,
Nope.
Nothing. I just muscled the whole thing. But I got some laughs along the way. If I would have let it breathe, maybe I would have got some more. But
You would have.
And I got done. I grabbed my tape and I left, and I never went back. And I was sitting there going, I've just screwed up. I've screwed up because I hate this. I hate everything. I made a big mistake. And that's when a friend of mine is a friend of Dave Koechner's. And I said,
Kansas City boy.
and they said, you need to talk to Dave. And I said, okay, I'll talk to Dave. And I don't want to bother him because he just got off SNL, you know, and I didn't want to be that guy who's like, hey, Mr. Koechner, you know. But I called him, and he couldn't have been more than, you know, Dave. He's the most gracious guy in the world. And he was like, all right, let me tell you, what have you been doing? So I explained everything.
This is the
to him.
Mexican restaurant the
This
first
is the
time you
Mexican-
meet?
Yeah, pretty much. And he goes, I got friends that are moving out here from, that just moved out here like last year or the same year. He goes, moved out here last year from Chicago. They're the best people in the world. Hilarious. They do a show called Ass Cat every Sunday night. Go down and watch the show. If you like it, go up and introduce yourself to Walsh or one of these. I'll call them and tell them, you know, you're going to be coming out and introduce yourself. So I went and watched the show.
Blew you
And it was
away.
like Belushi at the Triple Rock. The sun came through, it hit me. I went, you know, Deb, Ned, Jesus Christ, and I did the whole cartwheels down the thing because I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
I saw the light.
Yeah.
And it was everything I wanted to do. So I went up after the show and I said, I'm Rob Riggle. Dave Koechner goes, oh yeah, Dave. Called and said you might be coming down. I go, where do I sign up? Where do I take classes? And they're like, and that's how it started.
Apply yourself.
Apply, yeah. So I
And
did.
the freedom on stage, improvising that versus
The freedom
Set up joke.
of character and acting and committing and writing on your feet. And because I knew my way around a bit more than I knew how to write a bit.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that would all come in time. But so that's kind of how it started.
How was your space work early on?
It was good. My object work not so good. I was doing this.
No,
that's not a gun.
Don't do that.
This is a gun.
That's right.
With the handle right here and the CNC. For you.
Whoa!
Oh, whoa, whoa. Sorry. Oh, fuck me.
Whoa!
So the object work came along nicely.
When you went to cabinets in your space work, did you go down below or up top?
I always went up. I always went up.
Always go up top. Come on, where are you going to get a glass from? Can't get a glass from down here.
Nobody gets a glass from down. You throw trash down there.
That's where the pots and pans are. They're below.
That's right.
That's right.
If you need to make some eggs, you're going down low.
That's right. Or the rat poison, wherever. But yeah,
Whose eggs are you putting rat poison in? You've created a backstory.
it's a small list.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. And then I just grinded it out. I don't know if that's a word, but I did the grind with the UCB for about 7 years of taking classes, teaching classes, coaching other teams, writing sketch shows, taking every pathetic audition. I almost quit a couple times because, you do 2 jobs for a long time. It wears you thin.
And I went on hard.
Actually, wore me fat.
Yeah.
Because all I did was eat and drown my pain and my frustration in food and booze.
Yeah.
And I put on a cool 50.
What?
An easy 50.
What age are we talking?
This would have been 27 to...
Also a correct answer, 27.
Okay,
Yep.
there you go.
So you blew up like a poisoned dog. Right?
Yes.
You went all in with the eating and the drinking. Going on auditions where they say, how about anyone but you is going to get this?
This is where they broke me.
Okay.
This is where these bastards...
I don't see that this pointing is necessary.
I want emphasis. I want the people at home to know
Delivered.
just what kind of shitty business this is.
Heartbreaking. Where'd they break you?
I had to put on a suit
Oh boy.
and go through the rain and take 3 trains. I had to take the 6 down to the shuttle, across to the 19 down to the meatpacking district. Get out, walk all the way to the river, basically.
It's raining.
It's raining, and I got on a suit. I don't have many suits. This is a nice suit. I get down there and I do the audition. It's one flipping line.
No.
One line, and here it is. I'm gelling. Are you gelling? Okay.
You know what? Can I give you a note?
So I do this.
Let me give you a note. Get one more out of you. All right. I need a little more curiosity. About 11% more curiosity.
These are the notes I got. So here's the deal. So they go, okay, all right, good job. There was a committee. I go, okay. And they go, okay, we'll let you know. I'm like, great.
You seem like you want the job here.
At this point, I'm like, everybody fuck off. I'm wet, I'm mad, I'm overweight.
No umbrella, no raincoat?
Pissed me off. I was in a bad place. So I get home, they're like, hey, they want to see you again tomorrow. I'm like, God damn it. So I got to take time off from work. I got to go put the suit on. I got to do all this business. So I go, okay, fine. I trudge it all the way down there again. I go back in. I'm gelling. Are you gelling? I'm gelling. You gelling? Could you do it with a little, like, I don't know, like you're, maybe a little, like, frustrated? Like, I'm gelling. Are you gelling? And they're like, yep.
You made faces.
Yep. And then they go, okay, thanks. Then they send me away. Next day, they go, they want to see you again.
No.
Third day. I go, but the agent at the time was like, classic New York commercial agent. Don't worry about it. The third time, they got to pay you $50.
Oh.
So I'm like,
Because that's $5 for him.
Keep your fucking $50. So I'm like, all right, But they go, anytime over like 2 callbacks, they got to pay you like a $50 thing. So I was like, fine. So I went back.
Oh, God.
This is a national spot. So I'm like, I'm gelling. Are you gelling? They send me away. Call me back for a 4th day.
No!
4th day, it's down to me and another guy. Now it's down to 2 of us. Now the room is full. 25 executives, all with pads and paper. And I had to do 4 or 5 readings on I'm gelling or you gelling. And they were just struggling with it. They couldn't pinpoint what it is. Oh, try this, try that. Oh, there it is. That's okay, more of that. More of what? I'm gelling or you gelling? After all of it, I didn't get the goddamn part. So I sat there shaking in my fever, and I really thought, I was like, I hate this business so much. It's so subjective, so full of shit.
Yeah.
That everybody can suck a dick and go to hell.
Right.
And I almost walked. Completely just said, F this, I'll do something else.
Anything.
Lots of ways to be happy.
Yeah.
Lots of ways to be happy.
Good point.
But I didn't. I eventually got over it and went back and started hooking and jabbing again. But good God, they tried to break me.
And today you are in fact gelling.
Gelling.
Can I tell you, by the way, I remember that spot, and the guy in it, he was a revelation. They really made the right move.
He really was better.
That young actor was Ryan Gosling.
Oh man.
Yeah, they really.
There's a moment when they break you.
It
I
is.
remember hundreds of auditions.
Yeah.
Honestly. And what about representation? Because I remember I was doing stand-up, the Improv, where I performed last night and had a great time. But I remember there was, just stand-ups trying to figure out how to get representation. And people would come in, so-and-so's here, showcase. And there was a woman who had managed a few comedians.
Right.
And she said, if you want to come to the office, do a couple scenes, let's see what you got. And oh man, this is it. This is it. I'm going to become an actor.
Yeah.
I'd risen to the top of the stand-up scene in San Francisco. I'd moved to LA with a purpose. I'm going to become an actor. No formal training, of course.
Right.
Can't be bothered. I'm comfortable on stage. Do you not see that? Who's up there?
Yeah.
Magic, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I go to her office. She gives me what I now know to be sides. First time I'd seen them.
Right.
It's like 3 pages. Jesus, what's going to happen here? What do I just read this? Yeah, in the other room. Read it, work on it, bring it back in. Yeah, absolutely.
Got it.
Come back in, I do the scene beautifully.
Yeah.
Her response, you know what?
Oh no.
Acting's not for everyone.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, you're a stand-up, you're wonderful on stage. Not everyone is
That's what she threw at
suited
you.
to do this. Genuine, straightforward. And walking out of there, I had 2 choices.
Yeah.
It was use her as fuel.
Yes.
I'll show you.
Which I'm so glad you
Or she knows way more than I do.
did. Yeah. Oh,
She's an
no.
authority. She saw what I had to offer, had an opportunity to save me from myself.
No.
Uh,
No, I never take one person's opinion.
and the first time I did something on camera, the director literally said to me, you've either had a shit ton of training or none whatsoever.
Well,
He said, I can't tell. And I guess that's great. And I went, I win.
yeah.
You
you
can't tell
go.
if I've had no training or a
Well,
shit ton?
Yeah.
What does that even mean? You're just a natural?
Yeah. It means he sees genius on some level.
Right?
Yeah.
Something going on.
Yeah.
And I just realized all I have to do is be real.
Yeah.
Just be genuine.
Be as truthful as you can.
That's it.
Whatever that is.
And a lot of the research showed that your preparation was about listening and thinking about what's coming.
Yes. Well, I also studied, when I was at the UCB, I was also taking classes with Marcia Halfrecht at the Common Basis Theater, studying the method. And then from there, I went to the Atlantic Theater Company.
When you say the method, you mean Method Man.
Method Man, yes.
Yeah.
Why would you think I meant? Yes, I meant Method Man.
Yeah. Well, how else would you refer to him other than the method?
And so I was studying, and I was a theater and film major in college, and I care about it. It's not that I didn't care; I do care about it.
Right. Theater major in college.
Yeah.
So you're doing plays,
Yes.
for example.
More scenes.
Sure.
Than plays. More scenes. Scene
Okay.
work.
More building sets.
Yes, I was more of a film emphasis. I didn't emphasize the theater, but it's a theater and film major.
Sure.
So it was more.
You're
acting
doing
classes.
scenes like from.
Frankie and Johnny.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. I remember that one specifically.
Felt good about it.
Felt great about it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Sure.
It was fun. Yeah, those are good things. And I finally did a drama this year. Finally did a drama.
Let's talk about
this year.
that. I do want to talk about that. It's in the list.
Okay.
So, when they send the script, it's a little intimidating. This is new.
Yeah, because
You're trained,
Yeah, it's
but
not
you've been making serious bank and a hell of a career based on.
yucks.
I'll bring the funny.
Yeah.
It came with me.
Well, and this was not a straight role. Like I get offered straight roles where it's just not funny and not necessarily heavy drama or not,
But heterosexual.
but just very plain, very, I don't know. advocate for the audience, straight man type stuff. Just
Okay.
very
okay.
not doing much, being there to kind of be the center line.
Right.
But this one was like jumping into the deep end of drama because I play a guy whose daughter is dying of a rare disease, and it's very.
So nice to hear from the heartless Sam Levine.
There's nothing like a well-timed. That was well done, sir. You know I appreciate that more than anybody. Come on.
Whose daughter is dying of a rare disease. It's like a laugh cue for him. A button goes off in his head. He's like, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. You were saying? So you have to be bedside and go through the struggle with your family and.
Yeah, it was very emotional stuff, and it was fun to do that. I never had the opportunity even to do it.
Was there a part of you that wanted to ask the director, so what were you thinking when you hired me?
No, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. Never question that. You got the gig, take the gig.
Yeah. By the way, I did that once.
Yeah.
Missing a tooth. That's the horse. Don't look.
You never want to see it.
No.
Why?
Just a hole where a tooth is supposed to be.
Did someone turn the heat up?
It's so warm.
Oh my God! All of a sudden I'm sweating. I
It
feel
is super
myself
warm.
sweating. I can't get
Go ahead
this-
and open that door. What the hell? Why not? Yeah, turn up the AC if that's a thing.
I would take this off, but I'm pitting out, I think.
It's pitting out. I like that. The pitting out. Did you just make that up?
I got the fever too.
Did you catch a little something from the kids?
I think so.
Really?
They're little biological weapon delivery systems.
Petri dishes.
That's what they are. I look at them as little biological weapon delivery. Because they go to school and they just all, then they come home and they're,
On that on you.
yeah, and then you do what you can, but you're not going to win.
You take a film on the road.
Yes. Yes.
Jamie, there are a couple of Twitter questions for our man from our live audience. I'm back open and waiting for you to forward those to me. But you enjoyed the drama. You'd like to do that again.
Very much.
Yeah. What's the name of the film? We should look for it.
Midnight Sun comes out July 14th.
Now settle down.
It's also the name of a Twilight Zone episode.
Midnight Sun. The sun won't go away. It turns out it's actually cold.
You're just ruining it for everybody.
I know. It's not like it's over, 50 years old or anything.
But I start a movie next month.
This is serendipity.
Okay.
Is a word you're going to throw out there to open the conversation. Did they know everything about your background when they considered you? Because the connection.
You're talking about the Horse Soldiers.
Yes, sir.
I was talking about another one.
Oh, the one you're about to start.
Yeah. Because I just finished Horse Soldiers at the end of the year.
Okay. The one you're about to start is.
The War with Grandpa. Up in Toronto with Mr. De Niro.
And Mr. Walken. Yeah. Yeah. So let's go Horse Soldiers.
Horse Soldiers, yes.
Because that's the crazy connection.
Crazy connection. Very interesting.
That sounds like a drama too.
Yeah, yeah. It's a straight role. I consider more of a straight because it's, but whatever. It's,
Without the child dying of a horrible disease.
that's right.
Well.
Q.
Nope.
Nothing this time.
No,
Interesting.
I'm not your monkey.
Empty.
So
So
Doug Stanton wrote a book about these special forces soldiers who were the first guys into Afghanistan in October of 2001, weeks after 9/11. We need to get some people on the ground to support our Northern Alliance allies who were fighting the Taliban already in northern Afghanistan. 2 days before 9/11, Al-Qaeda assassinated Mossad, who was the Northern Alliance leader, as payment for letting them stay in, letting the Taliban letting Al-Qaeda stay in Afghanistan. And then they attacked us. Anyway, we went in and helped keep the alliance together. And these guys went in and, they used laser designators and called in B-52 airstrikes from 7 miles up, which is just stuff that's unheard of. And then they were riding into battle on horses, primitive, 18th century warfare style in 21st century. It was truly amazing stuff. And they accomplished a tremendous amount and really lived a very rough life and did some amazing things. So they wrote this book about them called Horse Soldiers. That particular unit, the 3rd Battalion, 5th Special Forces Group, was commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Max Bowers at the time. Now, I had worked on Ground Zero with my reserve unit and volunteered to go back on active duty because I had a high security clearance. I knew they were going to need people. And sure enough, they did. They picked me up beginning of November of 2001. I reported to Central Command, and then and by the end of November, I was in Afghanistan. And when I reported to Afghanistan, I reported to Lieutenant Colonel Max Bowers. I was on his staff. I was doing public affairs and civil affairs. So, but he was my direct report. So I worked directly for him, and worked out in the community and worked with our Northern Alliance allies and stuff. Anyway, I was over there for a while on his staff. And now I'm going to be playing Lieutenant Colonel Max Bowers in this movie. So I'm going to be playing my old boss, which is such amazing.
That's why I asked, did they know your history?
I think they did, because about 5 years ago, Mr. Bruckheimer and his team,
Jerry's father,
they had me look at the script, and I did.
5 years ago.
About 4 or 5 years ago. And I looked at the script, and they said, "You got any thoughts on it?" I said, "Yeah, people don't talk to each other like that, and maybe this and maybe that,
right.
And here you go."
See, you were very general in your response to them. Maybe this, maybe that.
Maybe this, and they go, "Can you be any more specific?"
Maybe that.
Yeah, give him that. Give him one of those.
And when you pointed and said that people don't really talk like that, was there a script anywhere near you?
No, I was actually fingering the coffee that I had. That was the coffee. I was just swirling the coffee.
So 4 years later, this thing becomes real.
Yeah. And by the way, after we discussed the stuff and everything, I never heard another word, So you think, oh, well,
that project
it's on
went
the
away?
shelf. Yeah, it went away. It's on the shelf, whatever. All of a sudden, it comes back, and I get a call saying, "Hey, they want you to play Colonel Bowers." And I was thrilled to death. So I said, "Yeah,
Is he still with us?
I believe so. I didn't talk to him. I haven't talked to him since Afghanistan.
You had already talked to him.
Yes, I served.
When you were in Afghanistan?
Yeah, I worked with him. I worked for him.
Was there a suggestion to speak with him? Because sometimes when they do the real life things, they want to keep the actual person out of it.
Yeah. There wasn't.
Right.
There wasn't. No one was pushing it. I didn't have I didn't have a way to get a hold of him. So.
Does some of the story take place on the ground in Afghanistan? You don't shoot there, but...
Yes.
And so where did you shoot that? Morocco?
No, we shot in New Mexico.
The Valley. I wish I would have said the Valley. That was the answer.
Oh, that was the answer. What was I doing? Come on.
Santa Clarita.
Oh, the Valley, of course. No, the Valley, pretty much.
Yep. Oh, it was on Twitter. Sorry, on the Twitter right to mine. Oh, okay. So New Mexico was the answer.
Yes.
Right.
ABQ or elsewhere?
Huh?
ABQ?
Just outside ABQ.
Okay.
That's Albuquerque for all you folks at home.
And when does that come out, we think?
I have no idea.
Sure. That's
Yep.
also the correct
Now you're
answer.
starting to sound like my mother. When does that come out? Like she asked, when that film that Kevin did come out? When can I get my
Well,
ticket?
that's different, honey, because most of the films I do don't come out. This probably,
The one with Richard Gere,
this probably
Will.
has a release
She's
date.
talking about the one with Richard Gere, Will.
Oh, the Gearster. Yeah, she wants to know about the Gearster.
I want to see the one where you played a 50s doctor.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Is that the one?
To say what? Yeah. To say. See, Rob wants to know, and the inquiring minds want
People
to know.
want to know.
Yeah.
Why are you being so stingy with the info? Why don't you just dish, for Christ's sake?
We're supposed to premiere at the Cannes Film Festival.
Oh,
That's not a thing.
that's a big thing.
No, not really. I've been.
I love it.
Sam's still paying for it.
That's right. We were present with Sammy for the world premiere of Inglourious Bastards at the Cannes Film Festival. It was
Great.
pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah.
Until it became clear that several of the scenes were not in the film. And then
Not several. Almost all.
It took a very uncomfortable turn.
I've been to premieres like that, my friend.
Bittersweet evening.
It
for
happened to me too.
Yeah.
And I didn't handle it. I handled it fine, but I stood up, not realizing that I was still in a crowd of people in the theater. I said, what the fuck was that?
What?
And
What are you talking about?
My wife grabbed me by the arm, and I go, huh? Oh. You know, like, oh, yeah.
You mean when the film ended, you stood up
Yeah.
and said, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. Not immediately, but as everybody was filing out. Because I empathize because we had done a mountain of work. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of funny, great stuff that just apparently didn't make the cut.
Didn't make the cut.
Which I assumed would. Lesson learned. Lesson learned.
What was that lesson? Don't stand
Sleep
up and
with
yell.
the editor.
Eat it like a person.
Yes, eat it like a man.
Yeah.
I just doubled the drinks I had before the movie, after the movie, and everything was fine.
Fantastic.
The interesting part for me, very early on, was when you finished up the one and done SNL, as several guests here, Jenny Slate and others talk about. Keckner, I think, was one and done.
Yes.
Moved the family across these formerly United States to Los Angeles, right?
Yep.
Gonna make a new.
Yep.
Get the Daily Show.
Yep.
Within 6 months or less.
Yeah.
And you got to do bi-coastal for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Wowsy.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah.
And it was, you know,
There was even a point where Jon Stewart turned to you and said,
what are you doing?
I don't know how you did this when you said I got to leave.
Yeah.
I don't know how you did it.
Yeah. When I told him I finally, I was like, I got to go, John. He goes, I don't know how you did it this long.
Yeah.
And he was more than gracious to, you know, in understanding why I had to go. But yeah, you know, look, it was basic cable. They weren't paying jack squat, enough for me anyway to move the whole family back over the coast. And even if they did, we'd have to get a small place over in Jersey somewhere.
At this point, how many kids?
One with another one on the way.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's California.
Well, we couldn't do it. We just couldn't. We couldn't do it.
Right.
As a matter of fact, Saturday Night Live paid so poorly
Right.
that I had to move the family out of New York before I finished that season, because we didn't want to get into our savings, and I couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
You know, the rent was too much, and
Right.
and we just couldn't do it. So I actually had to move the family back to Kansas City. Yeah.
These are the times.
These are the
Do
times.
you think they would have paid you more if you were funnier?
It's a great question, Sammy. I guess we'll never know.
Answer the question, Senator. Now and then, roles do come along where the improvising background has served tremendously. In the audition, in fact, even though you'd already done the table read for 21 Jump Street, in the audition process, kind of tanking, when Jonah Hill said, drop the script, let's just play.
Yes.
So goes the story.
Well, you know what it was? I was nervous. I was
Sure.
I was tight. Stone Street had just walked out, and he, you know, I heard him in there rocking it, and I was like, oh God. So I go in there, and I'm tight. I'm just tight. I'm not myself.
You had done the table read.
Yeah, and things were going well, and I go in and I kill the table read, and I did it, and Jonah instantly knew he's wrapped too tight. He's too tight.
Right.
And God bless him for that. God bless him for saying, time out.
Yeah.
Relax, throw it down. Don't worry about the words. I don't want to talk about the words.
Right.
All right, let's just play. We are on drugs, him and Channing are on drugs, and you are trying to get to the bottom of it. Let's go. And I just had the freedom to roll.
Right.
And to spit things out and to say things and do things and play certain beats and play games within the thing. And everybody was thrilled. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was just one of those moments. And then we all shook hands and I left, and I never felt so good. I never feel good leaving an audition.
No one does.
It's rare.
Yeah.
And I felt so good. And then by the time I got home, it was done. And I
Right.
was thrilled. And then I was realizing, you know what, I should try to emulate that again when I go in for auditions.
Right.
And I have gotten better about. I used to be so dogmatic about the lines. I've got to hit word perfect. I've got to be word perfect, even though they're not words that come out of my mouth comfortably, or I don't believe in them, or I can't sell them.
Right.
F that. If I get the intent right, I'll get 80% of those words.
Sure.
But let me throw in a couple words that I can sell, that come from me.
Right.
And it makes all the difference. All the difference.
In the world.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I leave most auditions now not hating myself.
Right.
That took years to get there.
Yeah, I was just thinking as you were saying you felt horrible leaving. Anyone who leaves an audition, especially in the early years, and drops the mic, I nailed it, is never going to get the job. That person does not get hired.
They don't get it.
No. It's later after many years and you start to realize, I've got to go in there and own the room and have fun and not be so fucking needy.
Yes. And it's so subjective because you've been a producer, I've been a producer. You sit on that side of the table and you watch people come in and audition and you're like, oh God, is that what I look like? Is that what I sound like when I'm begging off?
Yeah.
And saying, oh, I didn't have time to read the lines and I'm not off book. Just come in and do it. If you're on book, be on book. Don't own it. Whatever.
I would get a half hour behind after the first actor giving notes and letting him try it again.
Yeah.
And with people waiting outside, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Because you just want to give them every opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because we empathize.
100%.
Absolutely. But I also, it was so great being on that side because I got to see,
finally.
I need to walk into a room different.
I see. And also you can't take it personally. This is never about you.
Nope.
Or what you did in the room.
Yep.
They have such specific ideas and designs on what they want that character to look like, sound like, and just feel like.
Yeah. It's like when you read a book and you get the character description, you hear how they talk or whatever, you build a character in your mind and you know what they look like, how tall they are, skinny, fat, whatever, you know it.
Yeah.
And same thing with a film or TV. You come in and they have a picture in their mind. Now what you can do is hit them from an angle they didn't see. Surprise them, and then they'll be like, oh, I never thought of that, and that's really good.
Absolutely.
So then you get yourself in the mix that way.
Yeah.
But sometimes, they're not looking for me.
Yeah, I used to be, because I had no training, didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I thought, well, then you should go in and get some laughs, at least.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just so stupid, audacious crap. Whose office is this? And then one of the guys would do it. Yeah. All right. Why would you want to alienate before you beg for a job?
Yeah.
We could probably make a call and get you into the corner office.
Well, I did this. I tell the story, and I think I've told it before. I don't know if I told it here or not. The Busy Phillips. One time I was lamenting. We were working on a show, and we were in a commissary, and I was just sitting there bitching about an audition I had, and I was like, I hate it, because I was being a whiner and complainer. It was pathetic, and she just looked at me, shocked, and she goes, I love auditioning. I love it. I get to go in there and kick ass and take names, and I'm badass in an audition. She just had this amazing attitude and the cojones.
Yeah.
And I instantly was shamed. I was like, oh, what am I doing?
Right.
Lamenting about the opportunity to work? Shut up, Riggle. You big pussy. Go up, I want her attitude.
Yeah.
So I adopted her attitude. I tried.
Sure.
You still get nervous. You still get
tight.
tight.
I see you coming into the room
better now,
and having your own energy.
Better now,
which is what they want.
Yes.
That's the thing. I put out one book, still available technically, called "How I Slept My Way to the Middle," and at one point I derailed the chapter and just broke down that the auditioning process is actually designed to fail. I directed a movie which you can see on Netflix. I tried to get you. I think you were unavailable. It's called The Late Bloomer. But I would have people come in to sit and talk.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let them read the scenes.
Oh, great.
Because the truth is, the energy you have built by confidence, when I give you the job and you come to set, I was offered this job. That feeling as an actor versus the person who comes in and doesn't have the job and there's a bunch of people just like you outside in the hallway, that energy, that utter lack of confidence is the antithesis of what we're going to have on the set.
Right.
So what the fuck am I getting here? Somebody faking it?
Yeah.
You're not that. You're not even close to that. I'm not seeing what I'm going to get from you.
Yeah.
So let's come in and talk, and you tell me what your life is like and what you think of the part and what you want to do with it. Let me get a grasp of that.
Yeah.
Fuck what you're going to try to do this fucking tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, just horrible.
I like the way you
fail.
approach. I like the way you approach it.
Well,
you're an actor's dream. That's because you come from that side.
The next one goes in May. Let me know if you're. Hey, let's.
I like it.
I just have
Please.
one question. So with that renewed vigor of how to approach the audition, can you just, for now, I'm gelling, are you gelling? Just give me the new take on that. I feel like it might have gone
Not out of line.
your
That's
way.
a big ask.
Not out of line.
That's a big ask.
Might
I know
have
it's
gone
not
your
necessarily
way.
out of line, but yes, I can.
Yeah.
Which camera? Give me the
Your
camera.
right here.
I'm gelling. Are you gelling?
Yes! Oh my!
Standing ovation.
Oh my!
That's our shoe man.
Yeah,
Right there.
Tell the other guy to go. Tell the other guy to head home.
Get the fuck out of here, Gosling.
Have you
You're
seen
done.
How to Be a Latin Lover? Because I saw an early cut of it for our friend Ken Marino. And you and Hughes?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, good.
Oh, my God.
I haven't seen it. Ken asked me to come to a screening, but I was out of town.
Right.
So I couldn't make it, but
You
I'm
and
very
Rob
eager
Hubel.
to see it. Well, he and I were partners for a long time, and I love Hubel. He's crazy talented, crazy funny. And he's just a good dude.
There's no off.
Yeah.
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 What you guys did together really was amazing.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I love playing with him. I love doing improv and comedy.
Which extraordinary, well-developed, and seemingly bottomless, soulful character do you play in the Emoji Movie?
None. Huge misprint. Not even in it.
Nice work.
Really?
Yeah, I looked on IMDb the other day because someone asked me that very question, and they go, somebody said there was a trailer or something. They go, it doesn't sound like you, the whatever I am, the banana. I don't even know what the hell they said I was.
The banana.
And then I said, well, that's because it's not me.
Nope.
I didn't do that film.
You're the eggplant.
Yes, I don't know, but I was not me.
I don't know. I picture him as the eggplant.
Wayne Fetterman had a very funny joke that seemed instantly obvious last night about
emojis. What
his
did
lack of desire to use emojis.
Because he compared it to like cave drawings or
Well,
hieroglyphics.
he just said
or
we've
something.
worked so hard for so many
Yes,
centuries
that
to
was
put
it.
together a wonderful language. Why am I all
Why
of a
are we
sudden
retorting back to cave
returning
drawings?
to
That's it.
symbols
Pictures.
and
Yeah.
signs?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can articulate how I'm feeling. I'm not comfortable offering up a thing.
Convenience.
Let's go over Big Slick quickly. We're just about out of time. It's a great joy every year. You know, we come back here after the Big Slick and we have the show and we talk about Sammy and I. What a great time we had.
You guys are the most loyal and
We're devoted.
You are, and it's
We're
much
devoted.
appreciated by everybody. Thank you, gentlemen.
I don't know if you've heard this about me, of myself and my time. Also, I think you know I have a general disdain for children.
Yes, this is widely known.
Well, in fact, I may have created everyone's favorite moment from the softball.
It was my favorite. It was definitely my favorite
There's
moment.
nothing better.
How would you describe that moment again?
Spiking it in the child's face, but it was the destruction of hope.
It was the destruction of a child. You watched his youth.
Actually, it wasn't hope. It was a dream. It was the
So there's a kid at bat.
yes.
For the folks at home.
Yeah, a kid at bat. We're playing the wiffle ball game.
Which, for the record, is only adults who play in the game.
Yeah, but
And
they
it was towards
decided
the
to
end
let
of the
they
game.
decided to
Yeah.
let a little one in.
Yeah.
And
Gotta be 12 years
yeah,
old.
and he gets in, and you can imagine there's
Funny adults.
yeah, it's a big celebrity event. There's thousands, a couple thousand people around the stadium.
I'm playing shortstop.
Yep, and there's a pop-up. I believe it was a pop-up.
Yeah.
It was a pop-up, too short, and Kevin had a choice to make. You had a choice to make, Kevin, and you could have caught it, or you could have let it drop and let him run it out to first, and then everybody would have the moment. Kevin, being the competitor that he is,
Not only did I catch it,
Yeah.
but
you spiked it in his face. So you took the dream.
Held it up proudly.
Yeah, he caught it,
Spiked.
and then it was a mic drop.
Yep.
And just
because I caught it in my hand.
yes.
And then
And you locked eyes with him as the poor child ran to first base. So he knew, and he felt the sting.
Yep.
He felt the sting twice.
Yes.
Once when you caught it, second time when you put it to bed.
I had a
Yeah.
choice. Give this kid a memory.
Right.
I didn't look at it that way. Okay, that's better.
Now, to some, letting him the ball drop and run the bases would have been a memory too.
Sure.
But he would have known I dropped it on purpose.
Yeah.
That's not a good.
That's
memory.
belittling.
That's
That's belittling.
I'd like to add, by the way, he was a former patient of Children's Mercy.
which I did not. Of course, I did not.
He had,
Someone threw their bratty 12-year-old in. Is what I have heard.
he had beaten the odds once before.
I didn't realize.
But everything stopped
that-
when
Yeah.
Pollock was playing shortstop.
You thought it was some
that-
Keckner cousin.
Yeah, exactly. There's 75 of those. I didn't know I didn't know that cancer couldn't
Right.
catch the ball
Yeah. Right.
against this kid,
Yeah.
but I could.
Yes.
Right.
Fucking idiot.
I
So
loved
it's a
it.
long weekend, and this last year we broke the record again, raising 1.3.
Three.
I want to say.
A little over, just a little over. which is amazing.
Over a weekend.
Oh, and it's
Most
amazing.
of it comes from that one show. It's so crazy that night.
It's amazing too, because the first year, this will be our 8th year.
Right.
Last year was our 7th. This will be our 8th. But the first year we did it, it was grassroots. It was family run. It still is, but we didn't know what we were doing, so we just said, let's pick a number. We said, if we can raise $50,000, that'll be great.
Yeah.
And we ended up raising, I think, 100 that year. So, and then the next year we're like, okay, 101's the goal. But look what it's grown into.
Yeah.
And it's because guys like you come back, and we recruit a lot of fun people to come back.
Guys like us, not us.
No.
Yeah.
But guys like us.
Like you guys,
Yeah. Like us bigger. Money all goes to Children's Mercy Hospital so that no parent, no family pays for the treatment that the kids get
Yes,
there.
no kids turned away.
No kids turned away.
Yeah, and they do amazing work, and they're the biggest children's hospital from Omaha to Oklahoma City, and from St. Louis to Denver. So it covers a lot of ground, a lot of rural area in those places, and they can come to Kansas City and get world-class care.
Pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
And that's got to make it's you, Sudeikis, Rudd, Stone Street, and Keckner.
Yeah.
As the Kansas City boys come home to host this damn thing. And it really is spectacular.
Yeah.
And I'm just super proud and thrilled to be a part of it, honestly.
Well, you're a big part
Because again,
of it.
I don't like anybody.
No, you've made it clear, especially when we go see the kids.
Oh, man. Thank you again. for
No,
coming
please.
back.
I love this show. I was
Next week?
thrilled when you asked me. I'm sorry?
That is the correct answer. Do you remember the Larry King game? So you're going to give us a bad impression of Larry King. It's that moment right before Larry goes to the phones. He looks down the barrel and he shares something with folks about himself, his thoughts, his preferences. He shares information that no one wanted to know or care about.
Yes.
He does that right before he goes to the phone. Yeah. So it's a bad Larry King impression. I don't need a good one.
Yeah.
A bad one makes me laugh. And then as Larry, share something about Larry, and then go to the phones. And if the name of the city is funny sounding, that's not going to hurt. There's your camera. When you're ready, take your time. Here we go, the Larry King game.
Oh, God.
So far, so good.
Let's see here.
Taught improv.
For my money, greatest line in television history, I'm gelling, are you gelling? Sheboygan, you're on the line.
Sheboygan! Sheboygan, ladies and Jews, that's a Rob Riggle. Thank you, Rob, as always.
Thank you.
Spectacular. Sit there uncomfortably while I wrap things up for folks at home.
Love it.
Right? Thank you very much. Check out at KP Chat Show on Twitter, or the Facebook page that I've never seen, and follow to see who the guest is. I believe next Sunday is Christopher Guest, as mentioned. Great shows coming up. Lauren Graham, J.K. Simmons, Billy Bob Thornton. Thanks to the wonderful crew here. Sonia Cabrera on makeup. Dr. Evil Kenny Chen right here on the floor directing. Sammy and Jamie, as always. Dunes! Had the nerve to wear that LA Dodgers cap early before spring training to remind everybody they shit the bed in the playoffs yet again. J-Mac, God bless you and your family. And Corey Levin on post. There you go. I believe that's everyone. Luke, again, Alan, thank you so much for helping out, filling in for Brian, who we missed terribly. But Luke, in a pinch, like 40 minutes beforehand, I'm on my way. Came in and helped out. We thank him for that. Until next time, and as always, get out of my face.